Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. I am joined by my fellow hosts.
Captain Jack.
Joker.
So, recently, Jack has been reading, manga. So, what do you think?
Well, so far I've only read A Sentence of a Bookworm and started reading Spy Family. So I don't have a ton of opinions. Spy Family is really interesting so far.
Yeah.
In the sense that I don't think I've ever experienced a spy story quite like it.
True, it is a very interesting story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is
And
an
then
understatement.
A Sentence of a Bookworm, I'm kind of obsessed and genuinely pissed off that the mangas are so short.
Yeah, that is one thing that I think is kind of annoying. And you'll notice that a lot with different manga that specifically manga that come from light novels originally.
Yeah.
Is that they'll be weirdly short, and it's just like, why are you so short? And it's just a weird little
So
fact of life.
the mangas that I've been suggested and have found the box sets for, one of my clients suggested Fairy Tale, so I have that. Cheese Sweet Home, which is about a cat. I like cats. Death Note, The Quintessential Quintuplets, My Hero Academia, A Silent Voice, Pokemon, Cells at Work, and I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah.
Fairy Tail the anime is good.
Yeah, Fairy Tail is good. The problem with it is that it starts
It's
to
so
drag.
long.
It does. It is
Yes.
so long, and it starts to drag as you continue on, and it's just like, where are we even going from here? One of the I think that it's good to like the first few arcs are really good, so I think that having the first box set, you'll probably enjoy that, and eventually you'll probably drop off of it. So just be aware of that if you do end up reading it.
That's fair. I think the first one I'm gonna buy, the first box set I'm gonna get is Cells at Work,
Yeah,
and possibly Chai's Sweet Home.
yeah, yeah. Cells at Work is pretty interesting. I've only watched the anime, um, but I enjoyed it. I just haven't finished. I haven't even finished the anime, which is funny. Um, but it's still a very interesting show. I think that, and I'm assuming the manga is also pretty good. It's basically just about a body functioning, but
Yeah.
it's anime characters, and also the main character is a sickle cell.
Yeah.
Which that is just funny. The main character is a sickle cell, and she gets lost. So
Mm.
I don't know. I think it's funny. Obviously, it's very weird and kind of dark, but it's fun. um, I would if you get interested in it, I would also suggest checking out Cells at Work Black, because that is firstly, all of the characters are gender bent, so all of the male characters are female and all of the female characters are male.
Yes, that is what gender bent means.
Yeah, obviously. But
What is this called?
Cells at Work Black.
Cells at Work Black. You're gonna
Yeah.
have to send me that. I might
Yeah.
read that.
I'm not one.
That sounds interesting.
Basically, it is about a body in crisis. Basically, the entire that entire manga is about them confronting actual diseases like cancer and other fucked up diseases. So, obviously, be aware that it will probably that is way darker than the main Cells at Work. And I think they might there's like a whole bunch of things. So that's like the reason that it's called Cells at Work Black is because of the fact that it's literally about fucked up shit. So
Well, there's that.
So, yeah, just little fun facts.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, Cells at Work. That's pretty interesting. You're all so what else? You had Pokemon. So Pokemon is weird. It's a weird
That
manga.
really, honestly, is.
Like, Joker, you've read like a little bit about it, right?
I actually read a Pokemon series one time.
Okay.
When I lived somewhere else, and so I have read a one Pokemon manga
Yeah.
all the
Firstly,
way through. So
yeah. So, firstly, the manga is way darker than the anime or the games. So, yeah. Like, there's actually like a moment where Charmander cuts a which one was it? Was it Ekans or was it? No, it was Arbok. So it cut an Arbok in half. Like actually cut it in half. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a lot darker. I think that the later series weren't as dark, but that's mostly because like Pokemon has gotten a lot less dark over the years than other series. Um,
I believe that.
so yeah.
like
So
My Hero.
oh my gosh, My Hero is so dark right now.
Oh, I know it.
Well, you haven't. You're still. You're just on the what is currently out in America, right, Joker?
Yep.
Okay, so you haven't seen like the Lone Wolf arc very much, right? Or have you?
Nope.
You have not read the Lone Wolf arc. Okay, so
I have not even started it because I don't have volume 32, I believe.
okay,
Right? Is when it
It's
starts.
somewhere around there. But yeah, the Lone Wolf arc, that is very fun and interesting, but it's also like the darkest that My Hero has ever gotten. So obviously it's different. It's very different from what you're used to. Because yeah, Deku's on his own fighting a lot of bad guys, and it just gets darker from there. So I think that My Hero is weird when it came to that. But yeah, I still recommend. I still love the arc because it's just a lot of really interesting stuff, especially dealing with, well, chaos as Japan is flung into the just the worst part of humanity. So yeah, I do recommend reading it. Especially considering the fact that there's a lot more lore about Dobby and the Todoroki family. So, yeah.
Yeah, I need to read it.
Yeah. But yeah, currently in the manga, they are getting. We think they're getting close to the end of the the final war arc.
Hmm.
Or the final battle arc, I should say. So, yeah, that'll be very fun once it finishes, but it's gonna be a little bit. So there's that. What else is? So, me and Joker have obviously talked a bit about reincarnated as a sword. That is, I think that might be interesting. It's hard to say if it's a manga that you should start off with.
also a short manga. They're very short.
Well, yeah, that's just currently through volume 9, I want to say, in for the actual.
Well, I'm just talking like the mangas themselves are short.
Yeah. So it's pretty early in its lifespan, um, at least for the manga. The light novel is actually pretty far at this point. What else? So yeah, so yeah, obviously we suggest reincarnated as a sword. Um, I need to make like a full video. I've been saying for a while that I need to make a video about my manga observations, which will also be going into like good series to start with as a new person uh, going into manga. But the easiest thing to just remember when you're going into manga is start with something that you like outside of manga. So so for example, you like superheroes, maybe go with My Hero Academia. Um,
If you like fantasy, I don't know.
there's
Black
lots of
Clover's a
things
good
that you
one.
could go with fantasy. The question when you're dealing with fantasy though is, do you want to go into an isekai, which is basically, um, I guess a good example of something that's not Japanese would be Chronicles of Narnia.
They have
So-
a manga for that?
It's an entire genre basically of manga that are where you're going to another world. The main character is someone who,
Such as Sword Art Online.
yeah, Sword Art Online, reincarnated as a sword. Cube Arts is one. There's a lot to be
Reincarnated as a slime.
Reincarnated as a slime. Pretty much anything that says reincarnated is probably an isekai. Um, Yakuza Reincarnation, which absolutely one of the best ones that I've read so far. Even Doctor Stone is kind of an isekai, because of the fact that
Dr. Stone is so good.
It
I still
really
need to
is.
finish season 2.
yeah. I'm currently through volume 23 or no 2 right now, and they're almost done. I don't know how far it is for here in America, but they finished over in Japan with Doctor Stone. So
Huh.
yeah, kind of sad, but it happens. Series
Sad
end.
when good series end.
Yep. So obviously we're coming to a close on that. Obviously the anime still has a ways to go before it's done. But yeah. So another thing to keep in mind with manga is a good majority of them, I would say, and somewhere around volume 20. Promise Neverland ended at 20.
For the US on Dr. Stone, they have 23
Yeah, so I think that's going to be
mangas
going,
out.
I think that's going to be going to 25, I want to say, in total. So, that's fun. It might be like it might be 26, but it's usually somewhere in the 20s is where a good number of manga will end. Obviously My Hero Academia is in the 30s and it might go all the way to 40. Vigilantes ended, I think, at 15.
I still need to read Vigilantes too.
Yeah. Let's see here. And then there's the manga that don't get finished. Most manga that are just cut off, those will usually end around 2 to 3. So if you're looking for a series that is really short and you really want which I think that when you're getting into manga, it's a good idea to go for the ones that people didn't really enjoy enough for it to continue, or for whatever reason it ended early. So If it only has 2 volumes or it only has 3 volumes, sometimes even 4 volumes, that usually means that it's a series that, unfortunately, over in Japan, it just didn't succeed. And a surprising amount of them are really good. Like Joker, you've received my Christmas the Christmas book, right? That I sent you?
Yes.
Okay. So Juana and the Dragon Newt, Seven Kingdoms, that is only 3 volumes long. And that's because obviously it didn't succeed enough. So obviously so bit sad about that, but many series are like that. They just unfortunately close. Cube Arts ended at volume 3. Barrage ended at volume 2. Heterogenea Linguistico, I think, ends at 4. It might actually still be going, but I'm not 100% certain at this point. And then there's a few others. I've got like a ton of them. Also, since Jack, you might be interested to hear there's a Deadpool manga.
Oh, is there?
Yes. So I think you would enjoy that quite a bit. That goes through that is a completely different story from the from pretty much anything else. And it's
Nice.
only like 2 or 3 volumes at this point. So yeah, it's early in its time. Plus it has a lot of references to other manga, like All Might from My Hero Academia is in there.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, it's fun. It's a collaboration type thing that they're doing. That Marvel is doing. So, yeah, I think that you would absolutely enjoy seeing that at some point. Obviously, there's a lot of Star Wars manga.
There's also Assassin's Creed manga.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. There's a ton. If you're ever interested in like, if you're looking for a collaboration, it probably exists. So yeah, definitely. Just take a look around. You'll probably find something. There's also there was also the one manga that I asked you to read.
Which
Well, not Witch Hat, X Gender. So
yeah.
there are manga that are for specifically have LGBT characters. Witch Hat obviously has it's basically about 2 gay parents who adopt a bunch of girls and take care of them and teach them magic. So, yeah. And then there's Inalia and Duelia, which is basically about 2 gay characters, which is just so happen to be an angel and a devil that are clearly in love, and it's hilarious, and it's made by the same author as Witch Hat Atelier, so obviously loads of fun. So if you I'd suggest checking that out if you get the time.
Yeah.
And there's many more.
There's a lot of manga.
Oh yeah.
Too many to count.
Yeah. I think one of the weird things though is that a lot of people will say, "Oh, manga is all this horny shit and blah blah blah, lots of other reasons why they shouldn't read it." And it's like, there's like manga that are all over the spectrum, right? Manga is not a genre. It's just a format that people use. Same thing goes for light novels.
It's the Japanese version of a graphic novel.
Yeah. Graphic novel is probably the better way to describe it. Obviously comic also works, but it's just obviously.
It's more of a graphic novel than a comic.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's longer and comics are short.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you, it's absolutely something that I do recommend that a lot of people should check out. And there, the like I said near the beginning, the first thing that if you do go into manga, don't start with something that people say is, oh, this is really good, because sometimes it's not, and it may not be the thing for you. So always take a look, see what you enjoy, and then go from there. I think that's the best option. See things that
Or if you have a friend that is like really into manga, like
cough me.
Electro here,
Yeah.
then ask your friend for suggestions, because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Or even on anime too.
Yeah. Also, if you there's a website called My Anime List, and I kind of wish they would sponsor me because they're awesome. But they basically just go around telling people, hey, this manga, they have like a whole list of different manga and anime that you can take a look at, and it's really interesting. So yeah, if you ever want to decide, I need manga suggestions, they might be a good option to take a look at.
If you don't have a friend.
If you don't have a friend, yeah. But more than likely you will find something that you will enjoy, just in general. So, yeah. So yeah. Any other? What were you saying?
I said I don't know much else about manga. Now I got Pokemon brain because.
Fair enough. Which, I mean, we're all pretty much done with the main. We've all finished the main story now, except for obviously the post game, which.
I think I hit the edge of the map.
Oh yeah, that's super easy to do.
Well, no, I'm like trying to climb this mountain. It's like, you can't climb this mountain. I'm like, why not?
Oh, is it the one that's in the the northwest, or yeah, northeast? Sorry.
Let me see. It's definitely east. No, but it's like this wall, and it's like got the same, like, kind of texture of the Great Crater does, like on the map.
Oh yeah, that's people think that might be post game.
Oh.
Or not post game. DLC.
DLC.
Yeah.
DLC. Interesting.
Yep.
Whenever that's supposed to come out.
Yeah. No one's really certain. One thing that people are guessing as to what's going to be in the DLC is that there's going to be a few new legendaries, because like basically a combination. Firstly, there's going to be two Pokemon. One is going to be a combination of the Swords of Justice, and the other is going to be a combination of the mythical beasts, which are connected to Ho-Oh. Which I'm excited for. That'll be fun. So obviously that's coming at some point. Not exactly certain when, but it is coming eventually. And then there's also like this weird other Pokemon that people are thinking it's probably going to be very important, but no one's really certain exactly what it's going to do. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. But yeah, there's like some information in like the Scarlet book / the Violet book that shows like different stuff about the Pokemon. Because I think that the book shows like the different Paradox Pokemon, but then it also for some reason has those specific those new legendaries. So, needless to say, I'm excited. I can't wait to see exactly what they're going to be doing. But yeah, DLC, it's coming eventually. And there we go. Okay, so yeah,
This is probably a good place to call it.
you think? We won't. How long have we been going? We've been going for. Oh my gosh, this may be our shortest one if we stop here.
I just don't know what else to say, and I don't feel like we should talk about Pokemon for the 87th time in a row.
Fair enough. Um, have you
I don't know what else to say either.
have you guys been reading any interesting books lately? Besides, like obviously we have the uh, uh you guys still have you guys have your books. I have my book that my books that I need to read, um, for the event that we're doing.
Right.
Um, I think you guys have read more than I have at this point for those. I've just had so much shit going on, so I haven't had the time. But I will be.
I have not even started for that reading thing because
Yeah,
I only have your book right now.
yeah. Jack, did you send his to him?
I'm working on it.
Okay. So yeah, one.
Take your time. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'll be back in Nevada next week.
So probably send it to the Nevada address
Okay.
for him. But yeah. So that'll be very fun. Um. Oh my gosh.
But I did start a book. It's quite interesting.
What's the
My
book?
coworker suggested it. Okay, so the series is called The Blood of Eden. And the first book is called, give me 1 second. It's called The Immortal Rules.
Interesting.
And it's quite an interesting book. But like, it's a vampire book series, but like, it's like a futuristic, and it's like combination of like Divergent, Hunger Games, The Maze Runner, Twilight, and Planet of the Apes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's got a lot combined because it's set in the future. It's a dystopian society, and like half the population of humans is wiped out because of this red blood disease, and then like the vampires took over, and like you have like different cities, and like you have one part which is vampires, and then you have the people, and like people can get taken from this poor place and stuck with the vampires. It's quite an interesting story,
Fun.
but I'm like enjoying it.
That's good.
It's just hard to find like a good book just to sit down and just like read. Like I can do that with manga, but I can't just like do that with a book.
True.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, it really is.
It's hard. It's like I can do that with like books I know about, like ones that we read in high school, like The Great Gatsby and Fahrenheit 451. But like other books, I'm like, yes, I'm interested in reading you, but your writing is not that good.
Yeah. We've grown as people. We've read different books, and I mean, I'm still a slow fucking reader.
Hey, same. It takes me months just to read one book.
Yeah. Like if I sit down and just focus on reading a book, I can finish the book in like a day. But I don't do that. I just I take my time. I have other things that I need to do. And yeah, obviously get stuck in whatever I'm doing. And I've been trying to read freaking the Red Pyramid for like months now.
Oh, that's such a good book.
It is a good book, and I'm really enjoying it. The problem is that I just don't have enough time to just sit down and read it. So,
It's a big book too.
yeah, it is. So, obviously, it takes time. Which kind of sucks, because I just need to sit down and read it. And I just don't. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. I can't wait. I will eventually get around to reading through all of that. Um, and then also I obviously have all of my manga and light novels, which, uh, fun fact, the picture is actually showing all of my manga and all of my light novels. I think the only ones that you can't see very well are the ones on the edges, but you can see every single one of them in the little list there, or in the picture on the in the nerd chat video, whatever. Um, and all of the ones that are sticking out, or the ones that are just loose, those are all manga that I still have yet to read, which is obviously a lot. So, eventually I'll get around to them, and I'll get around to other manga and books. But for now, it's taking a while. But yeah. Oh, what was there was something else I was thinking about. Oh, yeah. Obviously after this, me and Jack are gonna watch The Toy Who Saved Christmas, which is like, I don't know if it's the best of the VeggieTales, but it's definitely up there. What would you say is the best VeggieTales, Jack?
I was always a big fan of Lyle the Kindly Viking.
Oh, that was a good one. It was a more recent one as well, so it's like, I think a lot of people gave a lot of crap to the newer VeggieTales, but like some of them are really freaking good.
True.
Like obviously that the one series that is an abomination. The
Veggies in the sink or whatever.
yeah, that was, oh my gosh. Why did that even exist? But like a lot of the other series, like they're interesting. They're different. Who would have guessed? Um, Personally, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do next with all of that, because it's fun. It's fun to see where they're gonna go from here. Um, I haven't seen any new VeggieTales in a while though. Um,
Yeah, I think Big Idea sold. So
okay, that would explain why it's gone. Um, which, yeah, obviously that's sad. Speaking of which, though, Butch Hartman is actually making a Christian show,
huh.
like a Christian children's show, which I think is insane to think about, since he's the guy who made like Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. But he and his wife are currently working on it, and I follow him on YouTube and also TikTok, so I see every now and again I see that he's talking about it, and it's like, oh, well, that's cool. I don't know if I don't know what they're doing exactly with it, but they're doing like something with Christmas right now. Um, I think the pilot is supposed to air soon, but I don't know exact details. Um, but yeah, it's interesting to say the least that the person who made like a lot of shows that we grew up with is currently making a Christian Bible story type show. I think it's like something about like different animals teaching Bible stories or something. But so I don't know the exact details, but yeah. I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna watch it just due to I have other things that are more important right now. But I think it's interesting that we are there are some at least really good creators are working on bringing more Christian TV shows to children, because let's be honest, the only thing for like the longest time was VeggieTales, and VeggieTales has been severely slacking lately. So I don't know. We'll see eventually if they do more than that, but it'll be fun. Speaking of Danny Phantom, when was the last time that you guys watched Danny Phantom?
I don't think I was ever allowed to watch it.
Really?
I don't think I watched it at all.
You should have told. Oh wow, it would have been so funny to have you like if you had known much about Butch Hartman, you could have just been like, yeah, but he's a Christian. Like he's an actual Christian creator, and it's just funny that they're like, no, you can't watch Danny Phantom, even though it's literally just it's made by a Christian creator. Also, Harry Potter, which that's insane to think about. Obviously she's a terrible human being, but like she for like a while she at least claimed to be a Christian. I think she still claims to be a Christian writer, but she's obviously done a lot of terrible shit lately. But who knows? But Butch Hartman is actually like, he's actually a pretty, really good guy. So, I recently rewatched Danny Phantom, and it's still really good. Like, Fairly Odd Parents obviously had a lot of things that it's just like, it's okay. But Danny Phantom, like, there were some really fun little bits. Like, I would almost classify Danny Phantom as an American anime. Just like, whatchamadiddle, Avatar. Obviously, Avatar is an American anime. I would classify, Danny Phantom as also being a American anime.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
Ruby's also an American anime.
Yeah, but Ruby has issues.
I like Ruby.
That's your opinion. I love Ruby. Ruby is awesome.
I know, but I know you guys love it, but I just can't get past the, especially the early on, how bad it looked.
Yes, but it gets better. Like,
It does. It got a lot better.
it's way better. Like, you get past the first 3 seasons. Season 4 is way better. Season 5 is way better. Season 6 is even better. Like, the animation gets way better. By like season 8, it actually looks like an actual anime.
Yeah, but a lot of people
But, like, I
that I've
understand your
heard,
issues with.
a lot from what
I understand
I've heard,
your issues with the first one.
a lot of what I've heard though about it is that even though the art gets better, the story suffers later on.
Not really.
So I don't know. There's just a lot of things that I've heard about it, and I'm just like, sure, the animation gets better, but the story, like, ooh. So I don't know. Like, one thing that that I watched was basically saying, yeah, the manga, the anime, it starts out really good, and then it gets worse, and I'm like, oh. Like, someone that I follow said, watch the first 3 seasons and then have someone tell you about season 4. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Of what, Ruby?
Yeah.
Yeah, season 4, I do agree, is not the greatest. Neither is like season 5, but like you get past those 2 seasons, season 6, 7, and 8 are great.
Yeah. I think that's also something important to mention, though. If you can't get past a certain point, a lot of people will say, you need to get past this point, which could be way, way down the line, and then it gets good. That is kind of upsetting with a lot of different... people have issues with that. Like,
I can live with it if it's like season 1 and then like Gilmore Girls. The first episode of season 1 is garbage.
Yeah.
But like you get further on and they improve because it's not the pilot. If I have to get through season 5 for it to get good, I'm gonna get pissed.
Yeah. Like I'd say that Miraculous kind of has the same issue where it can take at least through season depending on who you are as a person. Season 1 can be quite a drag. Especially because of the fact that pretty much everything in that was episodic except for the first 2 episodes and the last episode. And then everything else you could watch in pretty much any order that you wanted.
True.
Oh, I don't like Miraculous.
You've mentioned
the first season was horrible.
Yeah, but season 2 is just absolutely incredible. I loved it. And then as you continue on, it just gets better and better. And many fans agree that it's one of the that as it continued, it just continued to get better. Season 2, many fans absolutely loved.
Come on.
And then as the episodes became less and less episodic throughout season 3 and then season 4 and now season 5, where there isn't a single episodic episode as of yet in season 5. Everything is going in one into another, and it's absolutely incredible. And obviously, a lot of people are absolutely enjoying the new this current season of Miraculous. So, yeah. 100%. If you do decide to get into it, you're gonna enjoy it, I think. So, yeah.
Yay!
But
I caught a Pokemon.
You caught a Pokemon?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah. So, obviously, there's lots of... it's really a problem because a lot of different anime fans will say things like that as well. Like, you need to get past a certain thing. But really, the first episode of whatever show is really something that is going to be a benchmark of, are people going to be interested in this enough to continue on with playing the game or watching the movie or whatever? Your first few minutes of whatever you're doing are really important. And unfortunately, sometimes those first few minutes suck. It's unfortunate and sad, but unfortunately it's true. And they need I think a lot of series are starting to get better with it, but a lot of series obviously have their issues, and it takes time to develop a story to get it better to the point where people will absolutely enjoy it. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully things get better. It may take a while before things actually improve to the point where we're going to be happy with the new with different shows as they're starting out. But I think that as you watch shows, sometimes they just get better. I mean, Green Eggs and Ham, though, that was a perfect show. I'm kidding. Green Eggs and Ham is kind of meh, but it's funny. Did you guys ever watch? Did you guys watch that?
Of course.
Nope.
Okay, so
I've watched a little bit of it due to work and them putting it on, but
yeah,
I did not actually sit and stare and watch at it.
Yeah, that's fair. Green Eggs and Ham, it's a fun show, but at the same time, it's like you have to be into that kind of thing in order to actually and probably grow up with Green Eggs and Ham in order to actually enjoy it. Which
I have Dr. Seuss tattooed on my body. If there was ever a Dr. Seuss I wouldn't watch, it would be hard pressed.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously, it's Dr. Seuss is really good.
All right. I need to take the dog out.
Yeah, so this is probably a good spot to end it. We actually got up to 40 minutes. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I've been Electro Ninja, And we will see you guys next time. But on!
Bye.